Well, here's the thing. Pretty soon, you might not be able to actually be driving for these companies with these robot delivery, little delivery robots that now, they have a couple of screens and people are like watching from their computers.
They're all in Santa Monica, bro.
Driverless cars are now coming out. So here's the next thing right here. But the question before we get going on this, how long, for anybody who's watching, how long do you think that it's going to take for you for anybody to be replaced by driverless cars? Do you think that this is going to be something where it's going to be, in a year, 5 years, 10 years? How long do you actually think it's going to take until driverless cars actually take a dent out of you and me and all of us being drivers? Put in the comments, let us know.
Never. I agree with never. No, never is too long, right, Shirley? So, but maybe my son, who's like 14, he'll probably see a reasonably good driving one. So here's my 2 cents on this. Not anytime soon, not within a decade, at least decade or more. They do have the technology, but the problem. I'm consulting with Zoox. Zoox is owned by Amazon. Zoox built a car, not like this one, not like a Chrysler Pacifica with all these gadgets on it. They built a car from the ground up, Chris. It goes backwards and forwards at the same speed. It takes 4 people in it. They built a true vehicle. I mean, just for this. The problem they have, just like all these companies are going to have, is regulation. Okay, regulators are not going to let these things willy-nilly all over the streets like they did with Uber and Lyft without any regulations. And now the pendulum is going to swing the other way, right? And I truly believe, by the way, that autonomous vehicles are safer, for sure. And I'm going to be in one in about a month and a half. I'm going to Arizona for a soccer tournament for my son. And I'm definitely going to take one of these Waymos because I got jealous watching this thing. And I don't think it's going to happen within a decade or two. Not because the technology is not there. Honestly, I think the tech is there, and they have improved immensely over the last 5-7 years. I think it's because the regulators are going to get one of these self-drive. Here's that little video of this dude.
Yeah, we can't play it because it has a song.
Yeah. So yeah,
but we can at least see. Now, I'll tell you my fun story with the driverless car right after this video. But yep, here it comes.
Yep.
Made that turn pretty much on spot.
Bro, I'm telling you, some of right at the end of the video, it's sped up, right into traffic, flow of traffic. Like 2-3 years ago, these things would be on the right lane, we're going like 8 miles an hour. Now they're just flying. I mean, the technology is there. For sure it's there. So, hey, drivers, you only have like a few years left to bitch and complain about Uber and Lyft or be Uber Kool-Aid drinkers, whatever you want to call yourself. So the end is here because, here, you know what? AAA, by the way, AAA did a recent survey, like maybe 3 months ago. You know what the percentage of the public was that did not want autonomous vehicles? Massive, 85%. 85% did not want it. I'm going why? I could be sitting in the backseat buying some useless shit from Amazon.
I think the big thing, people do that now anyways. They just have a driver in their car. That is pretty freaky though when there's nobody in the car and it's just going. For me, I wouldn't mind something like this. The only thing is, like, what happens though with passengers getting in and out of your car, especially during drunk hours where they're drunk, and there could be a lot of things that happen in the back seat of cars. Growing up, people getting a little too happy with each other, going to eat food in the car and just leaving it a mess. Like, what will that end up looking like, and how clean will these cars actually be?
Well, the next big business idea supposedly is like have contractors clean all these things up, because they're all going to be electric. By the way, this was not electric. This was ICE vehicle. They're going to pull up to get charged, right? And they're going to have to get cleaned. I'm sure there's going to be, cameras in there watching if people throw up or whatever. Obviously, the car is not going to show up to the next passenger with puke all over the place. So look, I think that will come around, maybe in a geofenced area, you know what I mean? Just, I don't know, whatever. But drunk guys fights with drivers. Yeah, did you see that, by the way? Chris, no, Mr. Gambit, there was a partition where the guy was sitting, like a fiber. So you can't, like some idiot will go jump and try to grab the wheel or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, I don't know.
Now, here, let me tell you my story about using Lyft and ordering a driverless car. So I was in Vegas a couple years ago. This was 2019 when I was last in Vegas. And of course, I'm like, I got to try the driverless car. Why not? So it was one of the Aptiv. And I order it. It comes. There's two drivers, not one, but two, because you actually have the driver who's driving the car. And there was a lot of regulation here. So like,
Yeah,
this is Vegas. So I was staying at Westgate Resort and going to, was it, I think Caesars. So if anybody's familiar with that, it was right in the heart of Las Vegas Boulevard. And so the regulation is you couldn't drive a driverless car on private grounds. It was only on public, and certain roads you couldn't do it either. So like, just some of the things behind it. So they were driving the car, I would say a good 60% of the time versus versus the car driving itself.
Bullshit.
And when the car drove itself, it was only going straight. Like even the turn that it took on the road to go, what I don't know, Tropicana to
parking lot or whatever. Yeah.
No. This was on the street itself. Like the car went too far out, so the guy had to correct it to bring it back. I'm like, well, at least you're here. And then the second driver is like the one who's got the laptop and reading all of the data information and data points, because basically what they were doing was mapping out the entire area that they could. So they're mapping out where there's construction cones. That's the other thing. You couldn't have a self-driving car in a construction zone. It had to be on somewhere open where the road was pretty much just straight. It did turn lanes though, so it did go from one lane to the other. But how many cars already do that? You just put the blinker on and it'll just change lanes for you automatically. So
honestly, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be in Phoenix in a month and a half, and I'm definitely gonna order one. I hear they're like not expensive either. They're like Uber, right? So I'm like, okay. At the moment, obviously they're gonna be like Uber, but so Arizona allows these things. Remember, they allowed the original Uber driverless car with the safety driver in the car, killed a lady on the bike, right? That's when Uber got out of the AGT game. But I'm going like, I would love to be in one, right? First, I mean, just to see what the experience is like, because as a human, you're giving up control of your life to some machine, bro. That's not easy to do. Right?
No, I mean, think about it. We technically already do when it comes to any flight. Most of the flight is done on autopilot. There's very little, like you could literally leave the gate and get to the gate all on autopilot.
Wow.
So,
I think the technology is there, but I think regulatory issues are going to be hanging on these guys' necks. It's not going to be that easy.
Yeah.
They're not going to the other day, did you see in San Francisco, all the cruise cars, they all gathered at the same place. They had some sort of glitch in their system. Like there were 26, because all cruise in San Francisco is testing, driverless cars, but they can only drive between like 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. Right. So something happened in the system. All like 26 of them gathered like in one location and blocked the whole street. I was like, they were all like,
oh my God, that's
so
awesome.
the cops can't do anything. Then they had to call people to come and drive them away, regularly. And I'm going like, that's hilarious. They're like a little sheep. They all got just like blocked around.
That's the other question. Like, what happens if a cop is trying to pull over a driverless car?
There's a video somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'd love to see that.
And you know what? Like, okay, things get hacked easily these days, right?
Yep.
So Doordash got hacked the other day, right? So Uber got hacked. All these companies have gotten hacked. As much as they hide it or whatever, but it all comes out after 6 months. So think about this. You're in one of these things. You're in like a VIP or whoever you are. And then they hack I mean, obviously these things are on Wi-Fi. I'm not the technology guy, so don't comment saying that Serge doesn't know what the shit he's talking about. It's not that, but I'm thinking these could be hacked, right?
Oh yeah.
By
Yeah,
maybe
any
a terrorist group and then fucking run these things and kill people. You know what I'm saying? Or forget that morbid
that doesn't even have to happen in wire or in driverless cars. That can happen in any car that can hook up. You could hack a Tesla, and if you want, you could put the accelerator down as far as it goes, smash it into a wall. Oh so yeah, that already happened.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.